What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday, and welcome back to another episode of Man in Flow. As you can see, I do have my co-host with me today. However, he is back there on the bed. He's chilling out. He will likely be asleep before we know it. I was gonna say, let me turn around and make sure that ain't nothing on fire back there because I see smoke, but I forgot I lit an incense, so we are okay. So yeah, with that, welcome. If you are new here, thank you for joining. If you are returning, welcome back. As I always love to say, because it is my truth, you can spend your time anywhere. Your time is precious. It is yours. You can do with it what you want. I'm grateful that you want to spend any of it hearing my voice, seeing my face, being in my presence. I don't take it for granted. It means a lot. Even if it's just one of you, thank you to you for being willing to participate in this experience with me. Now, with that being said, I have a few things to talk about today. If you can see me right now, my coffee cup is empty, so this is going to be an interesting take. But I have a few things to talk about today, which is going to make for an interesting time when it comes to selecting a title of the episode. But that's okay. We're going to make it do what it has to do. So, the first thing I want to talk about, I don't know. Hey, you. I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to do that. So, as you can see, the co-host is out the frame if you can see me. And if you can't see me, I encourage you to do so. You can always find this episode on YouTube. Not to say that you want to necessarily look at me, but my pug is cute and I think I have a pretty cool background set up. So, always a pleasure to take a peek at that. Taco, sit down. Let's start there. Yeah. Just because you're not on the bed does not mean you have to sit down. I mean that you don't have to sit down. Yeah. But with all of that being said, I do want to start off by talking about, and this is something that my best friend and I have been talking about for so long, and it's so interesting. And I think the one unique thing about social media, TikTok specifically, like if you think about the evolution of social media and how everything started off very base level, you could post your post and you could comment on your post and you could like your post. And then we introduced messaging, and then we introduced, videos and imaging, and then there were chats and like all of these different things. Like the evolution of it has come so far. But the one thing that I love so very much about TikTok, and please believe TikTok is not sponsoring this video, I am in no way getting paid to talk about this, but the one thing that I enjoy so much about TikTok is that there are people from all over the world who have dedicated their time to just sharing their knowledge, sharing their gifts, sharing their talents, putting out things into the universe to hopefully inspire, encourage, motivate, teach other people. And it's just a cool place where you can go get a little bit of everything. If you want to see something lighthearted and fun, you can see something lighthearted and fun. If you want to see something smart and insightful, you can see something smart and insightful. If you want to learn something, you can go and kind of get a tutorial. If you want to be encouraged, you can go and get some encouragement. If you want somebody to read your horoscope, like there's so many different things. And I think the most cool thing about it is that you kind of, based on what you tend to watch, the things that you kind of find yourself liking and commenting and sharing and doing all of the things, that kind of becomes your quote unquote algorithm. As you open the app and you continue to swipe through, you start to see more and more of the things that you told TikTok that you enjoy. For me, for a while now, and I don't know how it happened, because I think when I first started, the biggest thing for me was like, I don't want to see dance videos. I don't want to see funny videos. While they can be some really great dance videos, there can be some really great talent as far as things that are funny and comedic. I knew for myself, I wanted to be encouraged. I wanted TikTok to be my motivation station. So I was there looking for that, whether it be people who were spreading messages of encouragement, people who were speaking to things that I resonated with, such as manifestation and affirmation and, different types of things in line with that. That was what I was seeking. So for a while, it took some time, but I had to kind of find my way to curate that experience for me. And with my best friend, both of us kind of being very aligned in that right now, and a lot of the things that we share with each other back and forth, I started seeing a lot of videos that started speaking towards, different things with, the planets being in what is it, Mercury retrograde, and the full moon and all of the different things like that. So like I was like, I don't really necessarily, I'm not as well educated as I would like to be in everything, and I don't always necessarily understand to the fullest extent of what everything means. I haven't studied it, but just hearing it sometimes can be really, really interesting, especially when you consider what's going on in your life and how sometimes a lot of these things can apply. So, and really what it comes down to many times is astrology. So for me, I started seeing a lot of videos that started speaking to transformation and shifts about how, we're in this season of transformation. This planet is in this house and it's not been here for hundreds of years, and all of these different things are going on. And this is the time to really just start making moves. This is going to be the year for you to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I've said this before, I talk about it often in different spaces, in different conversations. Although I've faced some serious challenges this year, specifically 2025, I can say for myself that I honestly do believe, and it's so crazy to be able to pinpoint this and to target it and to think about it with this much intensity, but I do believe that this has been the best year of my life. As far as just feeling like I've developed so many things for myself. And I know it feels like I'm bouncing around, but I promise I'm going to land on the point. Stay with me, ADHD rant. But with that, it's like, I feel like I've developed such a great sense of self-concept. I feel like I've developed such a great sense of self-love, a great sense of self-awareness, a great sense of self-style, a great sense of like self-care. Like I started doing things that make me feel good, and things that make me feel good about myself, and things that help me feel balanced, things that I feel good because I know that I've decided to commit myself to routines, different projects that I'm working on. I feel like I've honestly gotten into this space, and it's crazy because like I'm 40 in 2 weeks from today. Actually, I'll be 41. So to be in this space where I'm just now starting to feel like I've gotten a good handle on certain things, despite certain things not necessarily being in all the order that I would want it to be. Like things aren't necessarily perfect. We don't have all our shit together. It's not like, oh, we finally made it and life is great and now we don't have anything to worry about. But it's just a space of being aware and tapping into what is important, and kind of learning to overlook certain shit that doesn't matter, and not focusing so much on the bad, and learning to be grateful for the good. A lot of that has been really, really significant to me. But how all of this ties in for me, like I said on TikTok, I was in this space of just really seeing a lot of things in regard to transformation and shifts, and about how this season was the season to start, making big moves, and to like taking risk, and to challenge yourself, and to work hard, and to push through things. And it's so funny because I journaled just recently about how right now, actively, I'm watching those things happen before my eyes. And it's like one of those things where when you're looking forward to something and you're hoping for something and you believe that something's possible and you want it to come, and you kind of feel like, okay, I'm kind of doing the legwork. I'm laying the foundation. I'm ready for this shift. Okay. You keep talking about this transformation. Where is it? When is it going to come? You kind of get in this space where sometimes you can feel like, okay, it's taking forever. Like I feel a little stuck. Like I'm trying my best to keep faith. I'm trying my best to remain consistent. I'm trying my best not to give up. I believe that it's coming, but where is it? I want it. I need it. I believe it's mine. I feel that I deserve it. What's happening? And sometimes it's really easy, especially when you want something so badly, and you're longing for something so badly, and you can like vision it for yourself. Sometimes it's easy for the negative things to creep in. All of those little things like doubt and fear and worry and anxiety and anticipation of what might be and what might not be, and what if it never happens, like all of these different things. And that's okay. I think for a long time, I used to beat myself up because I wanted to believe that if I believe in this and I know it's supposed to be mine, then why am I even allowing these things to creep in? Like, why am I having these negative feelings? Why can't I stop? Why can't I just stay in flow of like this gratitude and this faith and this hope and this devotion to committing myself to the concepts of like just remaining in motion of what it is that I want? Why can't I stay there? But what I've had to learn is like there are certain things that unfortunately, based on your chemical makeup, based on the way that your brain is wired, you can't necessarily help in a moment. Like we are actively working to grow, we are actively working to develop, we are actively working to become better beings. But at the same time, you have to be humble and be human and recognize where you are and where you may not be. And I think for me, as much as I am growing and I have grown in all of these different areas, I still have room to grow. I'm never going to not be growing. So I'm learning to be more comfortable in that. When those moments come, I acknowledge my feelings. I understand that my feelings are valid, but I don't really let it take a hold. I'm not letting it consume me and take over my life. I digress. But anyway, the point that I am trying to get to is that in a very, very, very short period of time, and it's crazy because everything has been moving so fast. In the past couple of weeks, I have applied for, interviewed for, accepted an offer for, completed a background check for, and gotten a start date for a new career opportunity. I have also put in my notice at my current job. I have also acquired my birth certificate, something that I've been missing for a few years now. And you know, it's one of those things where when you're in a space of like just living and moving and constantly going, sometimes you put things out of mind, not intentionally because it's not important, but it's just like, okay, well, you know, we'll get to it. We'll get it done when it needs to get done. And I finally was just like, okay, I got to complete an I-9 for a new job. I need to take care of this. So, you know, I went online and I did everything that I needed to do and I paid the money to have it next day aired. And I got a birth certificate and it feels so good because like, not to say that I was ever concerned about being an undocumented citizen, but like it's just nice to have your piece of paper, that thing that validates you, that thing that helps you to move as you need to move throughout your spaces. I've never had a passport, so now that's an opportunity for me that I can make happen. Also, and this isn't something that I often talk about publicly, but I put myself in the position to lose my driver's privileges a couple of years ago when I was in West Virginia. I was traveling for work. I was leaving an airport, had no idea where I was, got pulled over for speeding, got a ticket, misplaced the ticket, kind of didn't really think about it. I was like, oh, whatever, it's West Virginia. If they ever send me something in the mail, I'll pay it. Da 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 da. Cut to they send it to Texas. They bypass me and send it to the state of Texas directly. Texas is like, you have until this time to pay this ticket or we're going to revoke your license. At that time, I'm still kind of moving and shaking, not really prioritizing things in the way that I should. Error, not fatal error, but error. And I didn't take care of it. And so my license was revoked. And eventually it didn't matter because I got to a point as to where I wasn't driving anyway. But it was one of those things as to where it's like, you need to get this taken care of before it's too late. And for a long time, I could not find the place that I needed to pay the ticket because I think I got it like in Charlotte. And however it so happened, it wasn't. Like, I guess the police officer that was patrolling where I was, even though I was in Charlotte, he was in another city. I'm calling around to all these courts. Nobody can get me any information. I'm talking to the Texas Department of Public Safety, trying to get information from them on what I can do and what I need to do. Nobody's ever to guide me in the right direction. Finally, yesterday, I have to go online, pay for my driver record. Pay for one, it's not the one I need. Pay for another, it's the one I need, and it provides the information that I need. I finally get in touch with the police department because it's not the court. This whole time I've been calling courts. I finally get in touch with the police department for the city, for the police department that wrote the ticket, pay the reinstatement fee, and hopefully within 72 hours, they will have reinstated my license because my physical copy of my license expires on my birthday, which I said earlier is in 2 weeks. And what's going to happen if that does not happen is basically I'm going to have to start this whole process of getting a license over. And who wants to do that? So fingers crossed. But all of that being said, new job on the horizon, got the birth certificate. We finally, after all these years, cleared up everything with our driver's license. We're putting ourselves in spaces now where we are actively creating habits that impact our day-to-day life. And when I say I'm talking about me and Taco. Actively like improve our day-to-day life, just as far as productivity, just as far as feeling well rounded, just as far as feeling balanced, feeling like I'm taking care of myself, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, doing things that benefit me in the long run. And it's just been such a pleasant place to be in. And does that mean that all of my worries are gone? Not necessarily. Does that mean that all of my problems have disappeared? Definitely not. But does it put me in a space of being excited? Absolutely. Does it put me in a space of wanting to seek even more greatness? Without question. Does it put me in the place of wanting to not care as much about things that are really insignificant and unimportant in the scheme of the bigger picture of things? Hell yeah. Like, I can't even be worried about it. Like, there have been so many things. I was telling somebody the other day, it's like the universe knows that I have 3 more weeks at this job that I'm doing. And I always say this, and I love, love, love. I love the company that I work for. I love my supervisor. I love my team. And I'm not saying that because I'm scared of somebody listening and worried about getting fired. Like, at the end of the day, at this point, whatever. But I do, and I've always felt that way. I just work a very challenging job, and it involves people, and people sometimes have really negative attitudes and really bad energy and make it really challenging to do what you need to do in order to successfully manage your processes. And so I'll say over the course of at least this past week, every day, 3 and 4 times a day, I'm actively dealing with people as to where it's like, you cannot afford to quit this job. You cannot afford to quit this job. You cannot go the fuck off on these people and get fired from this job. Remember, you need to be able to pay your bills until this new check starts coming in. Do what you got to do. Take care of yourself. Get up, walk away, take a break, drink some water, do some deep breathing, whatever you got to do. Control yourself. And so, like, honestly, like, that's the space I've been in. If you can see me right now, I'm taking 3 gummies. They're called Calm. It's ashwagandha and some other stuff going on. But like, yeah, they've been definitely helping me to manage the stress. But all of that being said, it's been rough. But even in that, I'm still not allowing that to shake me. I'm not allowing that to shift my resolve, because if anything, I know what I have to look forward to. I know how incredibly excited I am to be moving into this journey. And not even just that, but I'm also in the process of, and I haven't said this to very many people, but I am also in the process of doing something that I've wanted to do for so long, which is moving back to Texas. If everything works out, and I believe that it will, I will be back in Houston in January. And so that is something that I have also to look forward to. So all of this to be said, I think I'm just in a season right now where it's like, for a long time I felt stuck. For a long time I was like hoping and wishing and praying for all of these good things to happen. And it's like, I kept hearing messages like, just be patient, just keep moving forward, just don't worry about it. It's gonna happen. It's already in the works. Everything is already being aligned for you. There's so many things that are working in the background for you to make things happen in the way that you want to. And I'm so excited that, like, I just stuck it out. I didn't give up. I didn't allow myself to succumb to the idea of like, well, these are the cards I was dealt and it's a shitty hand, but I got to play it. And one day I'll be dead and it won't matter anymore. Because a lot of times, especially when things aren't going the way that you want them to, or if things seem really, really bad, it's easy to kind of get stuck in that place. It's easy to feel like things won't ever get better. And it's easy to feel like this is what I'm just kind of destined to be a part of. But I would encourage anybody, and not just because of my circumstances or my situation, but just, focusing on you and who you are and what your life looks like. Try to shift your mind state on that. And if you can't, try to lean into some things that could potentially help you, whether that be therapy, whether that be doing like I did and getting on TikTok and subscribing to some messages, whatever it is, like whatever you need, talking to a friend that you feel like is very positive and that could potentially encourage and inspire you, like whatever that looks like for you, do some things that can help you kind of dig yourself out of your hole and pull yourself out of your funk. Because I've said it before, and it's funny because when I said it, I believed it. And then for a while, I think my faith in it kind of wavered. But I'm going to say it again. Life is as great as you make it. And that's what's real. Like, we have so much more power and control sometimes than I think we recognize. We limit ourselves to this idea that things are happening to us as opposed to happening for us, or that we're limited to the ability to have to go through our experiences as a person that is being influenced throughout life, as opposed to somebody that can actually be an influencer or create. And so, yeah. And it's funny because I started talking, and at the very beginning of the conversation, I said I had multiple things to talk about. However, I am so stuck on this right now. So honestly, like, it's funny. Like, we could just stay here. Like, I'm totally cool with being here because it's a really, really good place to be. And knowing where I've come from over the past, let's say, decade, to give it a fair number, with all of the challenges that I've faced with my mental health, with all of the experiences that I've had, that I felt like sometimes like I didn't know how I was going to be able to move forward. I didn't know if I was going to be able to overcome certain things. I didn't know if I was going to be able to like make it through certain storms. I'm so grateful that beyond whatever dark places I was in, beyond whatever hard times I went through, beyond whatever really nasty thoughts crept in my mind, I'm grateful that I stuck it out. I'm grateful that I never gave up. I'm grateful that I didn't allow fear to stop me from pursuing things that I wanted for myself. I'm grateful that I continued to push. I'm grateful that I started learning important lessons. I'm grateful that certain concepts started making their way into my atmosphere so that I could start leaning into those concepts and using them in my day-to-day life. I'm grateful that I get to live and exist in this world right now, in this moment, where beyond whatever limitations there are, beyond whatever crazy is going on in the White House, beyond whatever is going on in the world, and yes, we could talk about a million negative things that are going on in the world right now, I'm still in a space where I am in a place where I can be comfortable. I am in a place where I can eat every day. I am in a place where technology has advanced so much as to where my life is so convenient and so easeful, and that I'm able to shape things and mold them into what I want them to be. That I'm able to be in platforms like this where I can put my voice out into the universe and people can hear my words and on some level be impacted, even if it's just whatever the impact. It doesn't have to be positive. It doesn't have to be negative. Maybe they just heard it and it's like, oh, okay, but I could do it. And so it's so funny because like I'm trying not to be that guy who every time I get on this thing here, I'm like kind of going on and on and on about how grateful I am about life and how amazing everything is, because that's not a realistic picture of life. Every day is not a good day. But honestly, and maybe it's just right now, maybe it's just this season, maybe it's just where I am and how I feel and what I'm experiencing in this moment. That's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at. I am just truly happy. And for me to have been a person who probably within a year and a half ago had a conversation with my therapist, and he asked me, if you're not happy, what do you feel like it's going to take for you to be happy? And my answer was, I don't know. I couldn't even conceptualize it. I didn't believe that I had ever been happy, or that I could even understand what happiness really looked like. I think I was searching for it outside of myself. I think I was trying to create it with things. I was trying to buy things and live a certain lifestyle and have certain things for myself and be in certain environments and have certain experiences because I thought that those things would make me happy. But honestly, what it comes down to is learning to live the life that you want. And it does not necessarily have to deal with material things. It does not necessarily have to do with the experiences, outward experiences that you're having, but sometimes it's just about creating and setting intentions and being positive and being grateful for what you have and being open to receiving more. And that all has helped me to create and nurture and maintain this happiness that I have. And it's funny because it's corny, because like what? But I couldn't be happier about it. Like I could not be more happy about my happiness because I thought I would never have it. And I wanted to talk about so many different things when I sat down in this chair, but I think this is a great place to leave it. I am definitely grateful for anybody that stayed this long. I often wonder, especially with this generation and how short our attention span can be, and about how, unless you're a really big fan of somebody or you just really, really love listening to podcasts, or for whatever reason, there's something that you're expecting to get from an episode. I often wonder how people are able to make it through a podcast episode. I listen to podcasts, and sometimes for me it can be a struggle because it's just like, well, this is interesting, but now I've gotten distracted and I have to do something else, or I like the way this feels, but now, I'm over here and I've kind of gotten sidetracked, or I've gotten bored, or whatever it looks like. So if you have made it this far, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am grateful that you even cared to be here. I'm grateful that you pressed the button to listen, to watch, whatever it is, however you're consuming this. And I'm just grateful that I was able to share this time with you. Grateful. That's what I'm working in. As far as what I am flowing in right now, this man in flow, I am flowing in gratitude, and I'm hoping that you are doing the same, and that if you're not, that you're learning to, that maybe on some level I am inspiring you to, because it definitely makes the difference. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it, and have an amazing, amazing, amazing rest of your day, week, month, whatever this is. In 2 weeks from today, when I come and I have this conversation with you again, I will be a 41-year-old man. I definitely kind of freaked out about that the other day because I was like, my mother had me young, and I've talked about that before. Like, when my mom turned 41, I was 25. So, thinking about who she was and how her life was, and all of the differences in who we are and what things look like, and just be kind of feeling like, well, am I doing everything I could be doing to like live my best life as a 40-year-old, almost 41-year-old? It can be challenging, but I'm trying to release that pressure. I'm trying to lean into the just feeling good of it all, like being grateful to still be here. Could have been gone a long time ago for multiple reasons, cancer being one, but not the only. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling and let you all have the rest of your day. I hope that you have a great, 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 great one. And I will see you next time.